My name is Irene Uyen Liang, number matrix S7188. Today, I want to talk about traits to bryology. So, what is bryophyte? Bryophytes are mosses, liverworts, and hornworts. They are vital for ecological rules. For example, they are involved in water and biochemical cycles, vegetation succession and soil formations, and lastly, bryophytes as food and shelter for small organisms. The issue is, bryophytes are threatened and facing multiple global pressures. So in this video, we want to explore the threats that bryophytes face and the conservation strategies needed to save them. So, what do bryophytes are up to? First, they are facing habitat loss caused from deforestation, urbanization, and drainage of peatlands. Second, the climate change increased the temperature, causing loss of moisture around bryophytes that is critical for survival of it. Third is pollution that causes toxins from the air to harm sensitive species. Lastly, invasive species outcompete native bryophytes for space and light. The native species decrease in number. For conservation measures and strategies, let's start with in situ conservation. In situ conservation is like protecting their homes by protecting bryophytes right where they live. The key strategies and examples are establishing reserve in bryophytes hotspot, for example, cloud forest of Monteverde, Costa Rica. So how they do it? They do it by habitat restorations, by rewetting drained Scottish peatlands, like the picture on the right side, to restore sphagnum moss communities. They also do legal protection by safeguarding species and ancient woodlands, just like how Witchman's Wood UK do on the picture below, where they build fence around bryophytes. For ex situ conservations, they do say like safety net, where conservations outside natural habitat occur, and insurance against extinctions. Why is it important? It is important because it preserves genetics information of species of bryophytes and enable further research and provide materials for future restorations. They do it by collecting living collections, for example, botanical gardens, and build bryophyte zoos to allow space for propagating rare species. They do it in Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh, as the picture beside it. That is the picture of Royal Botanical Garden, Edinburgh. And next, they preserve collections through dried specimens, or they keep the spore of bryophytes in spore banks. These spore banks work like um, the seeds of flowers. More advanced way is through tissue culture and cryopreservations. Tissue culture is done by growing bryophytes in sterile lab conditions for preservations, and for cryopreservation, they will store tissue or spores in liquid nitrogen under negative 196 degrees Celsius for decades. South Korea already done it, and they uses cryo storage for bryophytes genetic materials. Actually, these conservation methods work together. It will make best solutions through research, restorations, and educations. So, What forwards-looking recommendations are really helpful to protect our bryophytes? First, strengthen networking to link botanical gardens, herbaria, and gene banks into a global bryophytes conservation network. Next, through fund research to support studies on propagation, cryopreservation, and reintroduction of techniques. Third, to integrate into policy to ensure bryophytes are included in national biodiversity action plans that support both in situ and ex situ conservation strategy. Last but not least, community science that engage the public in mapping and monitoring of bryophytes through apps in their region. In conclusion, protecting bryophytes require both guiding their wildlife habitat and creating a backup population, just in case their natural habitat are no longer suitable for them or they are facing extinction. These ancient plants are resilient but need our help. Bear in mind that conservation is a shared responsibility. So, what we can do is support botanical garden with conservation mission by visiting it because when we go and visit them, they collect money from our tickets or from our souvenirs. So they use the money to do further research. And next, we should learn about local bryophytes and their habitat so that we can know the best temperature or moisture that is best for the bryophytes to live on. Lastly, we should take part in science-based conservation and funding and policies. That's all for me. Thank you for listening.